Is this an age-appropriate movie for little kids?
Absolutely.
Doesn't it have references to things for adults?
Yes, but you need to
Isn't Casper a dead child?
Sure, but it's okay because...
All this and more on Gory Story Time.
Warning. Gory Story Time is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Story Time. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig, and this week we're going to review the children's movie Casper, based on the comics and old cartoons of the same name, Casper the Friendly Ghost or whatever. This is, what was the premise? Basically, there's a house, gets bought, it's haunted by Casper and his 3 uncles. Yeah.
Okay.
And the owners find out that there might be treasure in it, so they intend on removing the ghosts, and they don't want to go. So they send in a therapist to try to convince them to leave on their own.
Ghost therapist.
A ghost therapist. What was his name? Bill
Pullman.
Pullman plays the...
Plays Dr. Ghostman or whatever.
No, it's Harvey.
Oh, Harvey?
Dr.
Harvey Ghostman?
No, Dr. Harvey. And his daughter is played by Christina Ricci, and they meet the ghosts, and hilarity ensues. That's basically
or
the premise.
Or horror, depending on whether or not you're scared of ghosts.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, that's about the premise as far as I can think.
Yeah, you're right. The premise is that there's a house with ghosts in it, and we follow one of the ghosts.
No, that's not what I said. We actually follow the people that come in to try to get the ghosts to leave.
And one of the ghosts.
I mean, they're mainly side characters. It's mostly about him and his daughter. I mean, sure. Anywho, instead of arguing about what it is, why don't we show you the trailer and then you can decide for yourself.
For 100 years, he has wandered the halls of Whipstaff Manor.
Wow.
Waiting for someone.
There's a girl on my bed. Yes. Hi.
Casper.
Can you go invisible? That one's easy.
Now, life at Whipstaff Manor
Can I keep you?
will never be the same.
Cool.
Ghosts can't hurt you. Yes, again, bone bag! Don't come near me, you spiteful spook! We share haunting stories, we throw parties. The parties are always pretty dead, though.
I feel like Oprah on hiatus.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
We have company.
Well, company loves misery. Oh, take a hike.
Get a grade.
Yeah.
Dad.
Oh, one and one for all. Catch your pants before they fall.
You guys are disgusting, obnoxious creeps.
Thank you.
Universal Pictures and Amblin Entertainment
Are we scary or what?
invite you on a wild, wondrous ride
Hurry up, come on.
to the other side.
Smell it, Graham.
Casper.
Sorry.
Well, all right.
So according to that, you can own Casper on DVD.
I do. And it came with two. It was a 25th anniversary,
Yeah, the
which
one.
was the original version. It wasn't like an extended version. I don't want people thinking that we're reviewing something with extra scenes. It did come with 2 bonus movies.
Yeah, a prequel and a sequel.
Yep.
And then some
Of the old animation
cartoons.
the theatrical cartoons. Yeah. Now that we've set people up to think that we're reviewing movies because we love scary movies and Halloween movies and the like, now it's time for me to shoot that theory full of holes and let them know that that's not why we're here.
You want to know the truth?
Yes. What's the truth?
The truth
You
is
can't
that...
handle the truth.
Oh.
Give it a shot.
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I can't handle the truth. Maybe you're right. Maybe they can't handle the truth.
The truth is, we're here to make money. And how do we do that? By pimping ourselves and promoting actual things that really exist. You can actually purchase.
That's what I was going to say.
And how do we do that? Well, we tell them, we put it out there in the ether, hey, we're going to need commercial sponsors. And every week we get 2, exactly 2. And it's never the same ones as before.
Because we did such a good job that they never needed advertising again.
Yes, that's what it is. This week, the reason we're getting a Brinks truck full of money backed up to our house is Gory Story Time is brought to you by Boo Hoo Ghost Repellent. Are you haunted by a specter, ghost, spirit, or lost soul? Try Boo Hoo Ghost Repellent. The only ghost repellent safe for children, unless, of course, they are dead children, in which case, Boo Hoo Ghost Repellent is what you need to get that little sucker out. Pure plant-based ingredients. We only use pure essential oils in our formula, including lemongrass, cedar, arsenic, and citronella for the true cruelty-free protection. Again, unless you're a ghost, then you might find it cruel. Boo Hoo Ghost Repellent, because life is for the living.
Well, is it? And by That's What I Call Necromantic, the album of love ballads for the dead. There are hundreds and even thousands of love songs for the living, but what about those who found a partner after they're gone? That's What I Call Necromantic is perfect for that pure kind of love, with hits like I Want It, That Grave.
I Want In That Grave.
I Want In That Grave. When You Are 604. Never Gonna Dig You Up, and the classic When a Man Loves a Zombie. So order today and receive your copy of That's What I Call Necromantic today.
Never gonna dig you up. Anyway. All right. Now, back to the actual show that we use as
the
an
actual
excuse.
show that's a real thing. Okay.
All right. We're going to get into what Jason likes to call the meat and beef of the show, and that's because apparently he's low carb. You wouldn't know it from all the candy he was just eating, but listen.
Candy? Okay. I'll go first.
Sure.
This is the first feature film to have a fully computer-generated visual effects character in a leading role.
The town of Friendship, Maine, is the name of a real village in mid-coast Maine near Camden and Rockport where scenes from the movie were filmed.
Yeah. In the mirror, Dr. James Harvey was going to transform into Steven Spielberg. Spielberg filmed the cameo, but it was cut for pacing reasons. Spielberg was relieved, feeling he was a terrible actor. Well, that's too bad.
Remember that scene where the faces changed?
Yeah.
Yeah. James and Kat Harvey are named after Harvey Comics, the longtime publisher of Casper the Friendly Ghost, among others.
During filming, Bill Pullman and Christina Ricci had to talk to tennis balls in place of the ghosts, while the ghosts were added on later.
You mean they didn't just hire real ghosts? Canceled. You can't make a movie about. You need to hire dead actors. Anyway, the house that was used for Whipstaff Manor was also used to film scenes from the Backstreet Boys music video, Everybody Backstreet's Back, most notably the ballroom dance sequence from this music video.
After watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in 1990 several times, executive producer Steven Spielberg approached its director Steve Barron to direct the film. However, Barron turned it down. He would later admit it was a mistake to turn the offer down.
A deleted portion of the attic scene involved Kat coming across an old photograph of Casper's uncles, Stretch, Fatso, and Stinky, when they were still humans. This was featured and shown in the storybook release alongside the film.
For the scene where Casper drags Kat out the window and takes her to the lighthouse, Christina Ricci had a piece of fishing line.
Can you try that again? Christina.
What?
You said Christina Ricci, like you.
Whatever. Had a piece of fishing line tied to her wrist to give the appearance of being pulled by a ghost.
A musical scene titled Lucky Enough to Be a Ghost was scripted and filmed, where the three ghosts sang about their mental problems during a session with Dr. James Harvey. It was dropped because the already expensive visual effects would have cost an extra few $1 million.
Well, that's too bad. This is the second movie in which Christina Ricci is the love interest of Devon. Devon?
Yeah.
Sawa?
Yeah.
Casper in his human form. The other one is Now and Then from 1995.
The breakfast scene was the first scene animated, which is why Casper and the ghostly trio appear more solid compared to the rest of the movie. In addition, the pancakes Casper serves the Harveys are completely animated and not actually there on set.
The pancakes were fake?
Yeah. They were panfakes.
Wow.
They were non-cakes.
J.J. Abrams did an uncredited rewrite of the screenplay.
Items from the set were placed on display for many years at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida.
A live-action sequel was proposed, and a preliminary script was drafted when production wrapped. Unfortunately, Christina Ricci and Bill Pullman were attached to other projects and would not be available for more than a year. The producers decided to produce a cartoon series instead, with the spooktacular New Adventures of Casper in '96.
Dr. James Harvey's possession scene by the three ghost uncles that had three cameos, Clint Eastwood, Rodney Dangerfield, and Mel Gibson, were supposed to match the personalities of each uncle when they were alive.
Oh. A scene was filmed with Zelda Rubinstein shooting out of the chimney and shouting, "Go toward the light," reprising her role from Poltergeist, but it was cut.
The short lady that was like, "Carol Ann, go towards the..." They actually filmed it. I kind of want to see that. In an early scene, Casper suggests eating under the harvest moon in an effort to keep his uncles from discovering the Harveys had moved into the house. Assuming the film's events occur the same year as its release, this means the Harveys' first night at Whipstaff would be Sunday, October 8th, 1995, while Kat's first day of school and subsequent trip to the lighthouse with Casper happen on Monday, October 9th.
Devon Sawa said in a 2016 interview that people ask him all the time if he ever uses Casper's line, "Can I keep you?" as a pickup line. He replied, "I haven't said those words since I shot Casper. Never, never. I'm very shy about stuff like that, so I don't think I could have ever mustered up the courage to use that as a pickup line. But I get it at least once a day, at least, especially on Twitter, or someone will tweet me the video like I haven't seen it. It's cute."
When Dr. James Harvey visits his daughter Kat's chosen room when they first arrived at Whipstaff Manor, he leaves and suddenly trips on the small stairs. This was not part of the script. Bill Pullman did actually trip, but kept his composure professionally, and they kept it in the movie. Now, the next part we do is we like to give the rating from Rotten Tomatoes.
Indeed.
And I know I go over this every week for the people who watch the show weekly. There's a few that I know, but for those who don't know, Rotten Tomatoes does not actually rate movies. What they do is they get a bunch of the critics' consensus and they look, and if they give them a positive review, they put a check in that column. Negative review, they put a check in that column. And then they just tell you the percentage that said it was positive. That's it. I hate when people say, "Oh, I'm not a fan of Rotten Tomatoes. They said my movie that I liked so much as a kid was only this." It's like, well, they didn't say it.
No.
That's the average over all the critics. And then they also have the people vote on the website, and they get their own score. So what did the critics say about
The
Casper?
critics gave this 51% positive reviews.
And the people have it at 49%. And if you add those together, that's 100%. We're done here.
Yeah, all right. So
Now, we'll get into what we thought of it in a minute, because we haven't really said so much.
I don't think we have. You're right.
No, like we
We
kind of
usually
gave it
slip
away
up.
with the first two in this series of 4, but this one we haven't. So let's try to like surprise people with: did we like it? Did we hate it? Actually, if I hated it,
It would have been
it would
more
be impossible.
vocal already. Your hatred for it.
Yeah.
Like
I
when you hate a
can't.
movie, you're like, yeah. So let's tell them how we felt about this piece of garbage. And it's like, well, hold up. Let it
I
get
happen
more
to
than
enjoy
10
garbage.
episodes. Let it get more than 10 seconds into the episode, all right?
Yeah, basically. So that's a little hint, I guess. What would you say your least favorite scene was?
Probably when I don't remember her name. The bad woman.
Okay, okay.
Okay, she dies, right, on purpose to
Right.
turn herself into a ghost.
Right.
And like I thought,
Under the impression she could do something to undo that.
right, to get the treasure, whatever. Yeah. So Casper and his 3 uncles, I thought looked very good as ghosts. I liked the way that they looked.
Okay.
I did not like when they started making real people's faces
Right. And
in
that's
1995 CG.
right. They definitely tried to have her face,
And that was a
there was another character
huge
who I'm not
mistake.
going to spoil that they also
Both of
tried
which
to do, and it was
were
like
big mistakes in my opinion.
Okay.
Very bad.
especially when Casper doesn't look like Casper.
The kid that Casper was.
And either, I mean, if Clint Eastwood, Rodney Dangerfield, and
Mel Gibson
were supposed to be who they were, they don't
Yeah,
look
they don't
anything,
look anything like it.
So it's weird that they did that with the 2 other characters.
Yeah,
It was
and
odd. It was
I
odd.
didn't like that part.
Nowadays they could probably do it a lot better, but
Oh, yeah.
But why do it with just those characters and not the others? It really doesn't make sense.
Right.
All right. My least favorite part probably had to be just, I know they tried to have something for Kat to be dealing with, but I just hated the blonde girl, who I liked when she was someone that was on Home Improvement.
Yeah, she played,
played
Jennifer on
Jennifer,
that
the-
and dated
Brad.
for 7 episodes. It said.
Yep. And I liked her on that.
That show,
There was an episode of that where she was kind of a jerk too, but
Criminal? Is that
no,
what?
I was gonna.
Wow.
No,
Whoa.
no, not that.
What the heck?
Whatever you thought it wasn't anything that I couldn't say. I was just like trying to be nice.
Okay. So our favorite then.
Yeah. What was your favorite scene?
All right. So I liked it a lot when we saw the movie, and I like it more now that we're doing the episode.
Okay.
Which was the possession scene of the 3 uncles in Pullman and turning into the faces in the mirror. I thought was amazing. I thought it was pretty dang cool. And at the time, I was preemptively disgusted with humanity for putting that in the trailer, which I hadn't seen yet. But I was worried that it was in the trailer, and it wasn't in the trailer. And I like it more now, knowing that that wasn't
Let's
just
be
done
honest.
for the trailer.
We know that in many trailers, and we complain about it a lot, they give away too much.
And that
It's
felt
like-
like a treat for the people who went in and saw it or bought it and saw
No,
it.
I totally get that, and I agree. At the time when you're like, I hope that's not in the trailer, I was like, me too.
Because
Because we don't watch the trailers before we watch the movies because we don't want that to actually influence us if we hadn't seen the movie yet.
Right, or ruin something.
Well, except sometimes we see a trailer and it gets us excited. Like there's an action movie coming out this Christmas that we're not going to be reviewing because it's an action movie, but wow. But there's a horror movie coming out this Christmas too. The Mean
Very
One.
similar.
We'll have to probably do that.
Yeah, and Blood and Honey.
That's not a Christmas movie, so
That's
it's weird
a
that you
horror
bring it
movie.
up. But my favorite thing, boy, I mean, I think the whole dance scene where she sees Casper in
As a
human
kid.
form, And you just see the look in her eyes like, oh, you were cute. But here's the thing. That's also a disturbing part because it reminds everyone watching, oh yeah, Casper's a child that died. And he tells the story of his death, and it's not pleasant.
No, it's actually like tear-jerking.
He's like, did he like freeze to death or something? Or like he died like alone? Like
Yeah, he did. I don't
it
remember
was
exactly
awful.
what it was, but it was horrible.
Like, and you're going, huh? Oh yeah. In order to have a kid ghost, you need a kid to die, and that's kind of bad.
Yeah, very sad.
I mean, right? But that scene, like, you know, spoiler, but like as they're dancing, he starts to lift her off the ground and they float. And nobody freaks out at that.
I mean, everybody stops and stares.
Right. But then when he turns back into the ghost at 10 o'clock, like they made a reference to Cinderella at midnight. And he's like, hey, Cinderella got midnight. He's like, yeah, well, you're 8.
12.
Or whatever. Too young was the theory. But, like, they didn't scream when people levitated off the floor. But then when they see a ghost, they're like, ah! And it's like, well, wait.
And then everybody runs out.
Anyway.
Very nice.
And there was some good cameos. Some that were cut out, as we heard. You know, Dan Aykroyd was pretty cool.
Some that weren't, that we also discussed.
Yep. That's what I said. But, all right. If you want to repeat me. I said that we already learned, and I pointed at the sheet of facts. And then you're like, some that we've already discussed. I'm like, that's what I was saying.
Well, you know, gotta pad the runtime.
Oy.
So on a scale,
yeah,
from 1 to 10.
You want to know what mine is first?
I do.
Boy. Now, again, we try to rate movies for what they are. So, like, if it's a B movie, we rate it because we like B movies. And we rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 for B movies. We don't compare it to, like, Forrest Gump or something, because that's not fair.
And very much like our first movie in this set with the Monsters, it was going into it as what it was for the movie, not compared to the show.
Right.
And we are doing this compared to itself, not compared to the comics or shows.
I mean, we definitely compared
prior.
the Munsters to the show quite a bit.
I did not.
Well, I did because I had seen a lot of the show. Right. Well, that should change as soon as possible because that's a good show. But that's unrelated to this. Anywho, so for a kids movie for Halloween, normally this is a horror show, and these episodes aren't horror necessarily. There's some horror elements in some of them, but that's not what this... It's just family Halloween movies. So, with that context, I'm going to give it an 8.
I think I'm going to do an 8.5. There's not a whole lot wrong with this. Get over yourself. It's 1995 CG, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I know there's going to be those people who are like,
What year did Toy Story come out, though?
95. Yeah, but that was completely CG. There was nothing to compare it to in real life.
And no one had seen what Pixar was able to do.
And it wasn't supposed to be a live-action movie.
And if you look at Toy Story 1 versus any of the sequels...
4 is incredible.
But I'm talking about the
visually.
CG, yeah. I mean, it was incredible then, and it's still not bad. It just doesn't hold up as much as it used to.
It's, exponentially better between each movie.
Basically. But anyway, so I said 8. You said 8.5?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Now, why don't we throw it to the information that we need to give out to the folks?
There it is. So, you can watch this show on Fact TV channel 1076, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m.
You can like us on Facebook. And when I say like us, I mean like Gory Storytime and like Fact TV, because they live stream stuff. There's a bunch of shows that people come in and do here locally. It's not just a scrolling billboard like a lot of these channels are in a lot of towns. Like Brattleboro is a bigger town, and when I was a kid growing up, most of the time all that was on it was just like
that boring pictures, ads, whatever,
with like generic music in the background. You know, there's actually a lot of people locally that come in and do stuff. I'm not saying they don't do it in other ones now, but like when I was growing up, it was devoid of
entertainment.
Yeah.
You can... Did you just do the Facebook?
Yeah.
You did. You can go to factdate.com and watch a bunch of the back episodes of this and other shows that we have done and others have done. As we were just discussing, there are a lot of other people that come and do shows here, so watch their stuff
Absolutely.
too. They're good.
You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Craig Jakes, all one word, all lowercase.
I'm at Jiggly Firm Brain. I tweet things that he says that I find amusing, both in or out of context, usually out of context.
As long as that's what makes it sound funnier.
Yeah.
And check out my YouTube page. It's Juggalo Jakes. We have a bunch of episodes of this, but if you type in Gory Storytime, you'll also come up with Fact TV's YouTube channel, and give them a like and subscribe too. Why not?
Exactly.
Smash that notification bell, as they say.
Yeah, and share this with all of your somethings.
Yeah. If you don't have friends, share it with family. If you don't have family, share it with friends. If you don't have anyone, share it with yourself. I don't know. If you don't have friends, we'll be your friends. Anyway.
I won't, but it's okay. Until next time, I've been your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and father, Craig, and sweet dreams.